Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Folks, yesterday we told you about Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders announced his run for president. In the first 24 hours, he raised $5.9 million from over 223,000 individuals. Now, he beat the previous 24-hour winner, California Senator Kamala Harris. She had $1.5 million in her first 24 hours. Now, there's another number that might be a problem for Senators Harris, Booker, as well as other candidates. This is from an Economist YouGov poll from earlier this month. Net favorability is the difference between a candidate's favorable ratings and a candidate's unfavorable rating. You can see that Sanders has a higher net favorability than Harris or Booker, 31% to 24 to 23%. There's not a big gap between Sanders and the others, but if Sanders keeps making statements like this, it might be a problem.
We have got to look at candidates, not by the color of their skin, not by their sexual orientation or their gender, and not by their age. I mean, I think we have got to try to move us toward a non-discriminatory society which looks at people based on their abilities, based on what they stand for.
First of all, when I discussed this on social media, and folks were saying that the question that was asked of him, and so guys, if you could actually pull that, which is important, that the question dealt with his age. Well, we should have had the question because that gives you the nuance. So the question apparently was asking him about his age, and this was his response. But the reality, though, Monique, is that Senator Sanders has been making these various comments about identity politics. Now, what's interesting with his statement when he says, well, we've got to do this. First of all, there have been 45 presidents and one black, no females. The reality is what he said is what folks have been doing. That you have seen, folks have been voting for folks based upon policies, based upon issues, and not based upon gender, not based upon race. And what you're dealing with here, I believe, is a candidate who still is bothered by the fact that he didn't get the nomination in 2016, that there were a lot of people who supported Hillary Clinton, who did want to see a female president. And here's the reality, Senator Bernie Sanders. It's been a lot of white men who have been presidents, senators, House members, Supreme Court justices. And so all of a sudden, when you get a splash of diversity, it's like, oh, my God, what are we going to do? Really?
Right, Roland. He's like a Brian McKnight song right now, One Last Cry. He is not going to fare well with Black women. He is not going to fare well with people who are moderate because he's far left of anything that would make sense for them. And frankly, he never speaks to the hate of the Bernie bros that are the real impetus and push for his fundraising and for his support system. They are notorious for being disrespectful and hating Black women. They're notorious for being Twitter thugs and internet thugs. And there's a support that has very little to do with him, but more so has to do with everything else they don't like. And anytime he's asked a question and he could have an opportunity to deal directly with race, with racism, with racial issues, he does one of those love sees no color things. And frankly, it's just not going to work. I mean, even a novice at this point can understand that that is not an acceptable answer.
Scott, this is very simple. This is how you answer the question. Doesn't matter what my age is. Doesn't matter how I look. I'm going to compete for every vote in the country. In the conversation.
But he was sending a broader message there because what Monique said is true. They got a lot of other challenges and a lot of other, limousine liberal type issues, as my mother used to say. But in regard to the race, Bernie Sanders is not going to be the only one in this progressive left space.
Nope.
There are going to be a lot of other people. And every political race, every election is different, whether it's local or federal. So you can't look back on 4 years ago or 2 years ago and think, okay, he's going to do better because Hillary Clinton's not there. The reality is he raised a lot of money within a few hours or a few days. Kamala did the same thing because they either had the name recognition or the highest concentration of followers. It doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you end. And when these debates start, because 30+% of the Democratic Party are black women and or black men. That's going to be split too. Someone out of those 15 to 20 candidates have got to figure out how to build a coalition of all of those interests, moderate and left, black, white, yellow, and brown, and that's the person that's going to win. And you might only need 25 to 30%
that's all you're going to need
of the piece to win.
Robert, this is very simple. Bottom line is this here, okay? So, again, when you listen to Sanders, and this is not just in this interview. The interview he did with Esquire several months ago, things that he said for the last 3 years. And I have personally criticized him saying, dude, when you keep talking about, because he's always identity politics. Well, the reality is, the phrase identity politics stems from the 1960s when African Americans were fighting for rights that we should not have had to fight for. It should have been granted simply being born. The problem is that's a poll-tested phrase anytime there are people who have been oppressed, who have been fighting for what they should be granted. African Americans, women, Latinos. And so what you have here really, and this is what Sanders has to understand, it's not what he might be implying. It's simply what we are receiving or inferring, and that is, hey, I'm a white guy, give me a shot.
Right.
Dude, it comes down to the issues. Look, it's some black folks who may not give black folks a shot. It comes down to issues.
Well, what Bernie is trying to say, and I actually at least respect him on this level, I think he is trying to, in the era of people like Kristen Gillibrand going to black churches and Kamala talking about how she smoked weed, the obvious pandering to the minority community, that doesn't have as much substance or material value in his mind to the policies that he wants to implement.
Hold on, are you saying Senator Gillibrand shouldn't go to a black church?
No, I'm saying it's a little bit of pathetic pandering, and it's obviously it's not necessarily reaching out. Hold
on, was it pandering? Was it pandering when Trump went to the black church in Detroit?
Well, here's what Trump did, though. Trump actually increased and decreased black.
No. Answer my question.
Trump actually.
No. Stop. Robert, answer my question.
Okay.
If you say it's pandering,
there's a difference between
Robert, 1 second. Robert, 1 second.
I'm answering your question.
No, you didn't. If you say it's pandering for Senator Gillibrand to go to a black church,
yeah, because she's
wasn't it pandering for Trump to go to a black church?
Trump went to a black church when? After he already made the black unemployment the lowest it's ever been.
No, he didn't.
No. Robert, I need you
after
to.
He passed
Robert,
Robert,
he went to the church, the black church in Detroit during the campaign.
When he went to the church, it was during the campaign in Detroit.
It wasn't. He was the president.
And what did he do?
He was pandering.
And what did he do? He was
pandering.
Pandering for black votes.
Let me speak for 1 moment. Okay. What did he do? He provided a material impact to the black.
No, Robert. Robert. You can't.
We're gonna act like
Robert. You can't. Robert. Here's the problem here.
You're not even letting me speak.
No, Robert. Here's the problem.
Criminal justice reform.
Who got it done? Robert. You can't.
Who got it done?
Robert.
President Trump.
You can't say that. You can't say that a Democratic candidate. Hold up. You can't say a Democratic candidate by going to a black church is pandering because she's running, but then you don't want to say it was pandering when Trump went to a black church when he was running. Did he go to a black church in Detroit while campaigning?
In any event,
yes or no?
Trump has provided.
Yes or no, Robert? Yes or no? Was that pandering?
Sure. No, it's not pandering.
Hold on. So wait a minute. How was it a pandering if he went to a black church while running, but it's pandering for Gillibrand?
Let me tell you how. Because President Trump actually provided a material benefit
to
the black community. We don't want to talk about it every time.
Oh my God! I don't understand.
Every time I bring up black unemployment, every time I bring up criminal justice reform.
Wait. Okay, hold up. So Robert. So if Gillibrand. So that help me out here. So if Gillibrand wins, and then, 1 second, if Gillibrand wins and then passes various things and sign them into law that will benefit black people, will you then say, hold up. Will you say then, let me pull back that it was pandering because she delivered? Dog, come on.
I'll say I guess it wasn't pandering.
Oh my God, that's just beyond silly. That's beyond silly.
You don't want to acknowledge the fact that what Bernie Sanders is really talking about, he's talking about how Kamala Harris, who by the way is not even a foundation of black American, Cory Booker.
What the hell is that?
What is the foundation of black?
What the hell is that?
A descendant of a slave in America, a foundation of black American. The kind of people who are getting skirted to the side by Democrats.
Do you know how idiotic that is?
Sure, you may say it sounded idiotic to me. That's not what your viewers
whose
think.
92nd birthday is it today? Hold up. Whose 92nd birthday is it today? Whose 92nd birthday is today?
Okay.
Who's 92nd?
Who, Roland?
Did those same black, hold up. Did those same black folks not want Obama?
Who is it? I can tell you
today is the birthday of Sidney Poitier.
Those same black folks are saying, what did Obama do for us?
In several days is the birthday of Harry Belafonte.
Okay, I can tell you those
same black. Hold up. Are these the same black people who talk about Marcus Garvey, who is not from, wasn't a descendant? Are these the same black people who talk about Malcolm X? I'm not done. I'm not done. No. I'm not done. See, here's the game that guys like you want to play. Because, see, you don't want to deal with real black history.
I do.
No, you don't.
Let's talk about black history.
If you want to deal with real black history, and you want to talk about who's descendants, who's not foundational, you cannot get past. I'm not done. You cannot get past Malcolm X. You cannot get past Shirley Chisholm. You cannot get past Marcus Garvey. You cannot get past Harry Belafonte. You cannot get past Sidney Poitier. I can do a roll call on black people who have been not from here, but who have fought and stood up on behalf of black folks. But I don't know if you can accept that there might be, bye. Let me go to the prior folks. Back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Of beginning of the year, in terms of focusing on the health, and of course, for me, it's all about my golf season, and of course, improving core. And so many of us out here want to lose weight, feel better, get more energy. And one of the ways you can do that is with the D-Herbs Full Body Cleanse. Now, I always love the way it look and feel after it's over, but it's not just when it is over, it's also about how you continue on changing eating habits, drinking more water, and eating healthier foods as well. Now, look, many of us abuse our bodies based upon what we eat, especially when it comes to weekend, excessive eating, and processed foods, all that good stuff. So the Full Body Cleanse is about actually getting rid of those toxic buildup in your body that drag you down. So if you want to try the D-Herbs Cleanse, go to dherbs.com, dherbs.com, and use the promo code Roland for a discount at checkout. Now, in addition, on the website, you can call 1-866-4DHERBS, 1-866-4DHERBS, and again, use the promo code Roland, okay? That's what you can do. And so, D-Herbs, Full Body Cleanse, we appreciate them being one of the partners, Roland Martin Unfiltered. So go to dherbs.com and use the promo code Roland. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.